Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Ethereum. We're going to be looking at its valuation against USD and against Bitcoin. So if you guys like the content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also please check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So, we've been following Ethereum, what it's been doing this year, right? 2020 seemed to be a pivot point, right? We had this downtrend that lasted 2 years. A double bottom here if you like, the traditional TA, and then a move back up starting in 2020. We've been anticipating this to continue to rise, right? But at the same time, we've said that if Bitcoin increases or decreases too quickly, right, then the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio will struggle to continue to go up, right? It's more likely to start moving down in the short term than moving up. So with this in mind, right, Bitcoin the price is very finicky right now, right? I mean, there's two clear paths. I mean, if it comes down, right, if the price comes back down to the 20 week, then most likely the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio will continue, will bleed, right? It'll probably bleed some if that were to happen. Okay. Alternatively, if the price of Bitcoin were to move up in the short term, back to 12K in the short term, very quickly, then again, the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio would also likely bleed. So, it's all fun and games for Ethereum, right? When Bitcoin moves up and then moves sideways, right? If Bitcoin is significantly above its 20-week moving average and it's moving sideways, this is when Ethereum can really break out against Bitcoin. However, the first, when you have a drop to the 20 week, right, it spooks a lot of people. It takes a lot of confidence away. The confidence that we had up here was a lot higher than what we have right here, right? Because we're currently, we're only, if we take a measured move from the current price, we're only about 7.5% above Bitcoin's 20-week moving average. And we know that 7.5% is a drop that Bitcoin can easily make in a day. And so we recognize that in the event of a drop, right, in the event that Bitcoin were to drop down to the 20-week, then the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio would likely bleed, right? We know this. So in order for Ethereum to start moving significantly again, where it's blasting past 400, 500, something like that, in order for something like that to happen, Bitcoin needs to start moving sideways at some point, and it doesn't seem like it's imminently about to do that, right? I mean, the price is I think Bitcoin is where we need to watch to try to get a sense of what Ethereum's going to do, right? And if you look at the Ethereum USD chart and you look at our regression band here, we're still slightly above it, right? You can see that the upper bound on the regression chart is 363, and we're currently at 377. This is one of those times where a lot of people really don't, have a hard time buying because they just think it's going to go down forever, right? But then, similar to over here, similar to right here, but it historically speaking, it's only been a matter of time before it spikes upward and you see that positive ROI, right? And we talked about this back over here about how good of a buy Ethereum was, how undervalued it was with respect to fiat and with respect to Bitcoin. Okay, so with respect to both of them, we said that down here. We made a lot of videos on it. Then over here, we made a video saying, okay, this is the reaccumulation or the accumulation phase of a lifetime. And the reason for that, right, was because, DeFi was pumping, basically everything was pumping. It seemed natural that Ethereum was next in line, and a lot of those coins were, a lot of them were ERC20s. A lot of those profits would probably be taken back into Ethereum. So it seemed natural that this move was going to occur. Okay, and also note that Bitcoin was very bullish at this point, right? I mean, Bitcoin itself wasn't increasing like crazy, but it was above its 20-week moving average and was more or less moving sideways, okay, during this time. And this is when Ethereum started pumping, came back down to the top of the band, and then has bounced up a little bit. So what we're looking for, again, is Bitcoin, right? All eyes are on Bitcoin. And so this is what I would especially say, if you're an altcoin, if you mainly focus on altcoins, I'm just going to say to be careful, right? Because we're in a position where altcoins are prone to bleed against coins like Bitcoin, right? They're prone to bleed against Bitcoin, and a lot of them will also bleed against Ethereum as well. I think Ethereum, a lot of these coins that have been pumped up significantly over the last few months are likely to bleed against even Bitcoin and Ethereum if Bitcoin were to drop too quickly or increase too quickly, right? It goes both ways. So, if we look at the ratio here, so if we were to come back down to the bottom of this trend channel, right? Which, I mean, I don't know how important the trend channel is. I drew this like 5 months ago, right? I mean, and we're still in it so far. If we were to come back down to it, it would be at around a ratio of 0.03, 0.029, 0.03. If you imagine a scenario like that, right, where it continues to bounce on up this curve rather than seeing like a short-term bubble. I still contend there's still a possibility to see a continued bubble. Arguably, there was already the beginning of an Ethereum bubble, right? At least if you follow the risk levels on the premium list, we saw the risk level go into bubble territory, right? It hit our first dynamic TCA sell on a couple times, right? And especially this time, having a limit set at like 440 would have ensured profits in that first bubble sell region. So you could argue that the bubble already slightly did form. Unfortunately, it'd be nice if we could see a continuation of this, right? If we could continue moving up to the top of this channel, but that remains to be seen, and I think it will it will stay that way until Bitcoin gives us more clarity over what it's doing, right? So I think as we mentioned in a recent video, as we've talked about these kind of like these 2 steps forward and 1 step back, it's possible that Bitcoin is now in this accumulation mode right here, right? This is certainly possible. And if this were the case, then it's just going to take some time, before Ethereum starts to move. Now, the downside to being in an accumulation phase here, as opposed to up here, is that up here, we were about 20%, Bitcoin was about 20% above its 20-week moving average, right? We were about 20% above it. Currently, we're less than 10% above it, and we're also contending with the fact that, the 20-week moving average is moving up quickly, right? So if we just extend this out a little bit, something like that, the 20-week moving average is going to be at 10,300 in about 2 or 3 weeks. So it's likely going to just continue to move up right here. And so for the price to stay above the 20-week, it needs to continue to slowly trend upwards, right? It doesn't have to go up monotonically, but it has to slowly trend upwards. If we continue to see confirmation of this, right, then I think that Ethereum, the Bitcoin ratio might not necessarily go up if because of the proximity to the 20-week moving average, but at least Ethereum USD might tend to go up over the next few weeks if Bitcoin continues to hold the 20-week moving average, right? Now, if you see these drastic drops, right, where if you see like a weekly wick that just goes down like 8%, 9% in a week, or let's say we see that wick in a day, be prepared for the Ethereum value to take a pretty big hit. Okay, so again, it's how you react to the market. We all know that everything hinges on the 20-week in terms of the bull market. At least that's what we speculate on here. And I think you can see that we did have a pretty good test of it, and which is why Bitcoin has moved up so quickly. Now what we're waiting for, right, is we're waiting for Ethereum, or we're waiting for Bitcoin to decide what it's going to do. So again, I think the best play for Ethereum right now in terms of trying to figure out what it's going to do is to just wait and see what Bitcoin does. And I mean, we're basically at the mercy of Bitcoin, right? I mean, Ethereum is essentially at the mercy of Bitcoin at the moment because Bitcoin is not doing the one thing it has to do, right? The one thing it has to do, it has to be well above its 20-week, and it needs to be moving sideways, okay, or very slowly moving up or down. But the minute you see these moves, right, where it goes from 10,000 to 11,000 in a very short period of time, or it goes from 12,000 to 10,000 in a very short period of time, This is not good for Ethereum in terms of its Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. Obviously, Bitcoin going up is pretty good for Ethereum in terms of its USD ratio, but not its Bitcoin ratio. So let me know what you guys think about it. I know I spent a lot of time talking about Bitcoin, even though this is an Ethereum video, but I can't reiterate enough how important it is to really focus on Bitcoin at the present time, because at some point, we're going to get some more clarity on if we're heading back down to test the 20-week, or if we're going to break back up into this region over here. Okay, and I think that when that comes, it's going to help give us clarity on what we can expect with Ethereum. So if you guys like the content, make sure you check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com, where we talk about the risk levels, dynamic DCAing, how to take profits during bubbles. We did it with Ethereum recently. We did it with Link several times recently. So check it out. The prices are going up on September 28th. So if you want access to content that's more from a data science approach, check it out. Before then, you can pay with crypto and get up to a 15% discount. And then also you get access to a premium weekly premium report, weekly premium video, a weekly alert, or not a weekly alert, a Telegram alert channel where I post my candid thoughts on the market, and then a Telegram private chat room. So you get a lot of stuff. Remember, prices are going up, so get grandfathered in. Before that, if you think that you might find it useful, remember you can cancel at any time. So you can always sign up at the lower price. If it's not your thing, just cancel anyways, and then it doesn't matter, right? If you're not grandfathered in, if it's not really your cup of tea. But if you think it might be worth it, check it out. You have 12 days before the prices go up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel at the very least, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.